Sage Circle. I'm Amythyst. Today I'm doing a collective reading about the world pandemic and a channeled update with that information. I actually asked somebody what would be a good channeled read, and that's what they suggested, so I'm going to roll with it. It won't be a long video, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes maximum. As always, I have announcements. I will not use WhatsApp. I don't code Canvas. If anybody's mimicking me or my channel, please contact YouTube, report it, and myself. If you do want to have a booking or inquire, the deets will be in the description box. I do have a Facebook group called Sage Circle as well, with the same profile picture here as the channel. And on Facebook, my name is Sage Circle, and in brackets, my actual name, Amythyst Black, is next to it. People do get confused. So let's get into this. I've got a couple of decks out, including one of my own decks, one of my published decks, the Whimsical Bitch Oracle. So let's see what information comes up today. I think this is going to be quite an interesting reading. So please, Spirit, come in. Channeled update for the world pandemic. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we've got a few cards have already slipped over. We've got At Your Service, Baby Steps, Free Falling, sorry about the view, the F Word, GPS. Okay, that makes sense. Can I actually just get like one or two more for that, please, before I channel? Bunny, Hop, Jive. One more, please, Spirit. Whoops, they're all trying to fly out. And Heartbeat. I actually just paused the video. I had a massive sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so just let me channel from this. Right, so what Spirit's saying is that people do need to still pull into that community space within themselves, whether it's with family, work, or the wider community, or wider communities, or different types of sub-communities and things. It's now time to really make sure that everybody's needs are met on that mental and emotional level, because the energy Spirit's showing me across the board to do with the pandemic, the world over, the mental health element is quite extreme. There are still a lot of people around the world that are affected by what has gone on. It's rattled people, some people right to their core, some people not so much, but that's what Spirit's showing me. And then the next card says Baby Steps and Free Falling. So what Spirit's saying is that there is a rebuild already happening that people can't see or people aren't aware of at this time, but it's happening in small little steps. Little things are happening around the world energetically. There's vortexes opening, there's portals opening and shutting. The planets have a lot to do with the energy associated with that healing process at this time. And the Free Falling card is about just living in the moment and having to do what we need to do collectively or independently in our life to secure ourselves. And the F Word, basically what Spirit's saying is like, don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck about the what ifs. More focus on the present moment now. Don't worry about the long-term future. That's what the F Word is. Well, for this particular reading, don't worry about the long-term future prospects of a what-if scenario. Really come from that space of immediately right now. And again, we've got the Baby Steps card. So the next card down here is GPS, Bunny, Hop, Jive, and then we've got Heartbeat. So Spirit's saying that everybody's tapping into the right spaces in themselves to do with what's going on around the world at the moment, that we're all linked in. We've all felt the brunt of what's happened with the pandemic the world over, and Spirit's saying follow your true north. If it doesn't feel right, if you don't like the community you're living in, if you've really had some sort of a unstructured sort of off balance emotional mindset to do with what's going on around the world, Spirit's saying now is the time to take those steps and follow your true north, whether that's stepping into a new relationship, leaving your career, selling your house, building a house, buying a house, you know, backpacking around the world, whatever your situation is. Obviously you wouldn't be able to backpack around the world right now, but you know what I mean. And then the Bunny, Hop, Jive. So Spirit's saying still have that spring in your step, still come from that space of what's happening around the world in a good heart within yourself. Still hop around, still do your bits and pieces, still tend to your family, still save your money, still do everything that you need to do, because things are getting better. Gaia is recovering. There is a level of heartbeat going on here, and Spirit's saying this is Mother Earth in general, and that she is ready to heal the the masses, the people, because for a period of time Gaia went into a slumber mode during this pandemic because she had to heal herself in order to be able to heal the planet. Not so much just the planet as in actually the earth itself, the trees and the greenery, but the planet is in humanity as a planet. There was a slumber period that she went through. Spirit is saying that there are still a lot of places around the world that are affected by the pandemic in ways that we wouldn't recognize in our daily living. There's still a lot of people struggling with finances. There's still a lot of people that are struggling to maintain that stability when it comes to proper housing. There's couch hopping and there's different things like that. And in some communities and places around the world, you can't even couch hop. There's no couches to hop. You know what I mean? It's literally just on the floor and things like that. And that's really taking an effect. Spirit is also saying that the energy associated with children to do with the pandemic have really taught kids a different level of durability, that even though it's affected a lot of children, like having to wear these masks and things all the time, a lot of children's skins are getting affected, and there's just been a lot go on. Spirit is saying that the energy behind that, in the background of what all these children have been through to do with the pandemic, is actually really going to propel them forward over the next 20 or 30 years when it comes to structuring humanity, when it comes to governmental departments, finances, war, just all that types of stuff. They're going to really be pulling on the memories and the emotional offset from what's happened from this pandemic. Please excuse the glary view. I've actually just come outside today on a little back porch and made a makeshift space. So I'm going to keep going with the next lot of cards. So what else do we need to know here, Spirit, about the pandemic? Can we get a time frame and different things like that? Vulnerability and freedom. Just give me a minute, I'll grab these cards out. Spiritual growth, yeah, totally. And angelic protection, nice. Okay. So what Spirit's saying is that there is that level of vulnerability still. That's why the baby steps of card has come out. But there's also that space of freedom. People are feeling, as a collective, more free to speak their mind, feel more free to have a say about what's going on in their immediate life. Yes, we can't take on governments and things like that when it comes down to like the shot, you know what I mean? The COVID vaccine and things like that. That's a different type of conversation, which I won't really be getting into. Spirit's just giving me a nod, one swift nod, like, no, we don't cover that today. Fair enough. But there's a different type of freedom that people are experiencing, but there's still a level of vulnerability across the board. And it's more so in the older generations. So over the 40s and up, there has been that level of concern when it comes to the vulnerability. That's what's going on here. Spirit's saying with the spiritual growth and angelic protection, obviously there would have been mass proportions of spiritual growth go through the pandemic. A lot of people have really cleaned up their energy to do with the pandemic. People have been eating better. People have been fasting. A lot of people have gone vegan. A lot of people have gone vegetarian, clean eating, green eating, growing their own vegetables, really saving their money and their finances and restructuring and reshuffling to live in a real peaceful sort of minimalistic environment. And minimalistic doesn't mean that we don't have televisions or the internet and things like that. It just means that people are really culled back on what is and isn't important in their life at this time. I'm struggling to get my words out. I'm stumbling over my words a little bit and I'm not actually too sure why. Let's see what's going to keep coming out from here. And angelic protection. So if you're feeling a little vulnerable and you don't not know which way to turn, that you really just need to call on the angelic realm, because they're protecting you. Archangel Michael has got his big mighty sword out and he's there to look after everybody. We've got forgiveness and understanding. Now Spirit's saying this is actually to do with our immediate life, okay, and expect miracles. This card here is more so about the forgiveness and understanding. It's not so much about forgiveness and understanding of the world to do with the pandemic, but forgiveness and understanding of our immediate relationships. Look really like into yourself. Look at your immediate life and see what's coming up. And now's a really good time to clear up loose ends when it comes to that. If you really need to have a conversation with somebody, do it now. If you want to make peace with somebody, or try on your end at least, or attempt to, do it now. If you need to walk away from old relationships that are just stagnant and stale, but you've had these people in your life, men or women, for a good period of time, Spirit's saying now's the time to sever those cords, because they can't be with you in your next phase of life. Did you hear that noise? There's a lot of ghosts in my house. I tell you, there's a fair few different spirits in the area that I'm sitting in my house and the back porch right now. There's a big portal that opens up out here, and there's been a bit of movement. And we've got ask and receive. Okay, so expect miracles and ask and receive. And this is what Spirit's saying. Expect miracles. Things are going to get better for the individual. Maybe not always for the collective on the offset, but definitely for the individual. You might really have come to that clarity within yourself and gone, you know what? This relationship isn't serving me. I've been miserable. I've been dating the wrong people, or it's time I get out and date. It's time I throw caution to the wind and get married randomly. Just little things like that. It's really important to actually just honor what you need to honor at this time and expect miracles. Have faith and hold faith. And Spirit says, ask and you shall receive. Ask for assistance with finances. Ask to have that right relationship. Ask for the right career or job to appear on your path. You know, ask Spirit to light the path for you so you can get what you need, but come from that space of spiritual growth, which was what the other card was. Okay, I'm getting told, yes, there is a time frame here. Hang on a minute. We've got romance and connection. Yeah, somebody, yeah, oops, they're flicking out. Romance and connection and healing energy. Can I just have one more of those for the minute, please, Spirit? Let's see if I've got another jumper. Nope. And we've got honesty and communication. Wow, these cards, looking at them through the screen opposed to me pulling it away from the screen and looking at it with my own eyes, not through the screen, doesn't do it justice. These cards are beautiful. Okay, so romance and connection. So what Spirit's saying is you could be hitting that next phase in a relationship because of the energy and the realization and the reality of what you've been through the world over with the pandemic. You could have felt really isolated and really lonely. You could have been in a relationship in lockdown and realized that. You could have been with that person for a good period of time and have realized they're not really the relationship I want to be in. And now you've opened yourself out, you've asked and you received, and Spirit is bringing that right person into your life. If you haven't met them yet, Spirit says not to worry, they are coming. Things do take time. Remember, we're talking about baby steps here, and the very first card of this reading is at your service. For those of you that are in a happy relationship or a relationship and have been through the pandemic with that person, Spirit is just giving you a reminder that there is a really good depth of connection through the pandemic that people have been through in that partnership, ones that you can't see. So even though there might be a bit of arguing or had been things go on, Spirit's saying that your bond has thickened, your bond has tightened, and that's really fantastic. And for those people that had come through the pandemic lonely and on their own and had that real realization, like, holy shit, is this how my life's going to be for the rest of my life? Spirit's saying no, love is in the air. Okay, and we've got healing energy and honesty and communication. Archangel Raphael is in the huzzle. Shout out to Archangel Raphael. I'm getting told that people really need to reflect on the fact that they have had that space and healing, and to push healing out to the world as well. If you can light some green candles, if you can write some prayers and burn them off into the universe for a collective for the world, that will really help. Archangel Raphael is here, and he is saying, can you please maybe buy a little plant? You can even have a plant indoors. You can plant a tree outside for world healing and world growth and things like that, and really tap in with Gaia that way. There is a space here to do with healing energy, and this is the next breath of what's going on now. It's already been going on about 6 or so months, and it's going to continue on. And with the honesty and communication, be very, very, very clear with yourself and those around you what you will and will not tolerate in your life. Particularly, like, you know how all the shops around the world, there was no toilet paper and there was no this and there was no that and there was no bread and there was no all sorts of things. Like, there hasn't been one area of the world that hasn't actually been affected by this, whether it's minimal compared to others or vice versa. It's just really affected people in general. And Spirit's saying you really need to be honest with Spirit and yourself, as well as others around you at this time, and communicate clearly about what you will and will not accept in your life at this time, because it's your life. You've got one shot at this. We've all just been through hell and back in different ways to do with the pandemic, you know, the children as well, you know. So Spirit's actually saying that there's another 18 months ahead here to do with that massive wave of healing, that there are a lot of people around the world pouring love and healing energy into the repair of humanity, the repair of the planet and things like that. And there's a lot of families that have lost people to do with the pandemic, and Spirit's saying that that's why it's going to take so long. Also the vaccines, I won't, you know, like Spirit said, we won't cover vaccines today, but I will say that some people's spiritual faith is going to be tested when it's vaccines are surrounding them in their life, whether directly or indirectly. There will be some spiritual upheaval there, Spirit is saying, but the spiritual growth card has come out, and again, to remain in faith, okay? But we've got an 18-month bracket here. I'm getting told by Spirit that there will be one more big wave somewhere around the world where there's an influx of people, a cluster. It could be 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe 100 people that get affected, and places around the world sort of jump onto action for that very quickly. And there'll be another group of smaller clusters in the next 18 months as well, in different little spaces. But Spirit's saying that is because of the vaccine, but that's okay. But we do have a little bit of a road ahead of us, but to really pull on that space of healing and love for those around you, and to really keep your eye out for the elderly, okay? It's the elderly and the older generations, mid-40s and stuff and up, it's really rattled people to the core, because people work their whole fucking lives to obtain things, to have that house, to do this, to do that, to have the flash car, whatever it is, and then it's just had been ripped out from underneath people in a savage fashion, okay? I mean, the amount of people around the world that have pulled on their superannuation and stuff like that, it's just ridiculous, okay? We've got a blessing on your intuition, a blessing to lift sadness. Yeah, a lot of depression and stuff has affected people from this. A blessing to bring clarity, holy guacamole, and a blessing for good work. Wow. And there's a beautiful lucky kingfisher on there. That could mean something to you. A blessing on a home. Yep, there's a dove there. We've got some peace coming in. A blessing to find your way. Wow. Yep. And we've got a blessing of the earth. Thank you, Gaia, for coming in right now. Okay, so what Spirit's saying is that trust your intuition. You are blessed. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. If something doesn't feel right, don't bother interacting or delving into things in your life that aren't serving your highest purpose. And I am getting told very, very clearly that is including relationships. You know, we have friendships with people for an excessive long period of time, some of us in the world, and there's no other purpose for that other than we have history together, for example. And Spirit's saying now's not the time. You really need to be crystal clear. You need to have that clarity about what actually resonates and what works for you in your life and what doesn't. It's okay to walk away from people that don't serve you. And a blessing to lift your sadness. Spirit's saying that there's a lot of people that have had some faith here, even though there's been a lot of depression and different things also in amongst youth and stuff like that. Spirit's saying it's really important to understand that Spirit has your back. You've got that guiding light there like a moth to the flame, and you're getting your needs met, okay? A blessing for good work. Spirit just wants you to know that you have done really, really well over the last 2 or so years to do with the pandemic. There might have been people that feel like, bullshit, I haven't done well at all. Well, that's just what it is, okay? Spirit's saying that a blessing on your home. Now, home could be where the heart is. Home mightn't be the house you live in, bricks and mortar. Home could be you've had family overseas that have been hit really badly by the pandemic, opposed to where you are in a different country and things like that. You know, and home could also be your actual home as well. There's a different layer for home. It depends on what home means to you, but there's a blessing coming on. There is peace happening and new growth, okay? There is blessings coming for you because of the love and care and energy you have injected into your own life to do with the pandemic. And we've got a blessing to find your way and a blessing of the earth and a blessing to find your way. For those of you that have been confused and haven't known what to do, and do I spend money or do I save money, and do I hide money or do I blow money? Like, for example, what do I do with my life right now because of the pandemic, because it could change in an instant? Spirit's saying that they're going to show you the path, okay? You need to connect to nature. This woman's laying in naked, so you might have been feeling that level of vulnerability again, and there's some sort of exposure going on, but Spirit's saying have that time to connect with Gaia, get in the earth, and have what you need from her, and a blessing of the earth, and that speaks for itself again. There's trees in the background here. Spirit's saying you can hug a tree, you can go and actually have a picnic outside, sit outside with the kids on a blanket if it's nice weather, have some dinner outside if you can, just do different things, but you do need to connect with Mother Earth at this time, okay, because it's really, really important. I'm getting told to pull a couple more of those angel cards. Oops, oh, one's already flipped out. Oh, surrender. Wow. Can I just have one more of these? Surrender and earth and ground. Okay, that is the second time you've been told to connect with nature and surrender. So just let shit go. Just let shit go that doesn't serve you. And again, that could be friendships, that could be mindsets, that could be food. Spirit's saying that people really need to spend time, regardless of what the weather is, where you are, to go through everything you own, every single thing you own. Get a big rubbish bin delivered to your house. That's what I'm going to be doing in a few weeks. Get a skip bin, go through everything you own, donate as much as you can. You know, you might have 2 cars and don't really use the other car, and you think, you know what, I could probably sell that at this time. There could be a uni student or something that really needs that car. Ask Spirit for that guidance. Whatever it is, now's the time to declutter your life in every fucking possible way. And I need to practice what I preach, because I'm about to do the same thing. Okay, and then the other card says earth and ground. As I've said, you really need to earth and ground at this time. Sage, smudge, have a bath. I had a beautiful hot bath last night. You know, you really need to focus on getting yourself back to center and being at one with the earth. Again, plant a tree, get a little pot plant for inside and give it some love, and use that as an energy towards humanity. Okay, I'm pulling out the other deck again. We've got knock knock. Hasta la vista, baby. Okay, it's time to walk away from shit that does not serve you. Knock knock. Hang on a minute. Woot woot. Yeah, times are changing. Good energy's coming in, and just say no, as in K-N-O-W. Hasta la vista, baby. Knock, knock, woot, woot, and just say no. What Spirit's saying is that now is the time. You've got opportunities coming into your life. You might have just recently stepped into a new relationship, and it's now Spirit saying now you need to surrender and walk away from things that don't serve you. Know in your gut what's right and what's wrong. Don't do the things that you know could backfire on you at this time, because the world energetically has been through enough. And we've got woot, woot. And basically that's a message. It's a dual message. First message is, that is a message from the owl realm, from owls, to say that they're here to give you a message. If you need them at this time, call on owls for a message, a peaceful message. There is messages of love and peace coming in from them. And the other messages, woot woot, is in yes, yeehaw, I've made it, I've done it, I've stepped through that veil, I've come through that pain, I'm not feeling like shit, I'm back at work. You know, shout out to all the essential workers the world over as well, and just say no. Know what's right from wrong. If you don't want to do something, don't bloody do it. It's that simple. Life is too short, okay? And from scratch. Yeah. And there is billions and billions of people around the world that have started from scratch because of this pandemic, and people will do. They are doing it again. Still, people will continue to do this, just because some people have done it earlier opposed to others that haven't hit that space where they're ready to, you know, build from scratch again. Spirit's saying it's still going to happen over the next 18 months or so. People will really restructure and reshuffle their lives. There is peace coming, and it says, I've got your back. Oh, shit. That is a message from Spirit, okay? The universe, whatever you want to say, God, the angels, the angelic realm, your ancestors, everybody, I've got your back. Spirit wants you to know that they support you as a collective and as an individual to do with humanity, with what's going on at this time, okay? Really nurture and give yourself some self-love, all right? I'm just going to pull out some of my own cards. Can I have some sassy as fuck messages, please? It says, fuck the haters. Yo! Do what's right for you, okay? Just say K-N-O-W. Just say no. Knock, knock. Opportunities are knocking for you right now, and you really need to just do what's right for you. And if people don't want to be a part of that, whatever, they can get fucked. On the rise with thick thighs. This card comes out of fair bit out of my deck. That just means that you're on your way up, that you've earned your space in yourself. You've worked on yourself. You've worked on your life over the period of the pandemic up to this current state, and now's the time to rise up, get back into your career, whatever you need to do. Okay, we've got blessed is the broken bread, and that speaks for itself. Okay, out of chaos has come some sort of love and light, and it sounds ridiculous. You know. And we've got, they call me Shredder. Yeah, hasta la vista, baby. Walk away from the bullshit. Shred it up. If things aren't serving you, walk away, okay? And we've got strictly business. Yep. So for those of you that are walking on this business path and, you know, don't know which way to turn to do with the pandemic, or don't know how to run your business and do things now, Spirit's saying really focus on that and ask for a message. Ask and receive, the other card says, okay? So that card is particularly for those people that are looking for a inspirational sort of kick up the ass to do with what their career or their business is about. And this card says, second chance is a gateway drug. Just say no to people if it's not serving you, okay? Can I have 2 more, please? Oops, there you go, 2 flicked out. We've got bird's eye view. So rise up, and you have risen up. This is a message that you probably already have risen up. from the top of where you've been. Now you can look down, look over what you've been through, and really, you know, co-create with yourself and your higher self, or co-create with others around you. Again, please really keep your foot firmly grounded in the community and the sub-communities that you're in. If you don't know what a sub-community is, you could play pool, you could play darts, you could be in a dance group, you could be in a singing choir, whatever it is, whatever your sub-community is, the things that you get into in your community, really remain grounded and rooted at that time, and look at everything as an overview and see how far everyone's come. You should be proud of yourself. And we've got Apex Bling. Basically, this is a message from Spirit saying, you're the bomb, you're the shit, you've done what you should have, you're exactly where you need to be. Blessed is the broken bridge. You know, don't worry about the heartache that you've experienced over the last 2 years or so to do with the pandemic. Like I said, Spirit's saying there's at least another 18 months of healing and growth to go on here, and people shredding and pulling back from what they've been through. I've got my little set of chakra cards here that I bought off a local woman in Australia. I like to buy little quirky cards for that. Can I just have 3 chakra cards to tie up this reading? We've got throat. I express myself creatively. I have a right to speak my truth. I am open to communication. Communication and speak clearly has already come out in this reading today. Please tune up your throat chakra. I'm also getting told most definitely work on your root chakra to do with grounding. Can I have 2 more? Got crown. Wow. I am part of the divine. I am at peace. I am open to divine wisdom. Beautiful. And can I have 1 more, please? Yep, and we got sacral. I love my body. I am mindful. I am passionate. Yeah, self-love. I did say earlier I had a bath last night. It's now time. I'm going to put certain things in there for self-love. It's now time to work on that space in yourself, your throat, your crown, and your sacral. New to tune up. So also do your root. I'll pull out the root card as well. And it says, I am grounded. I am safe and secure. I love life. What a fantastic overview message for this channeled reading to do with the pandemic and what everybody's been through. You know, I could have gone multiple different ways with this reading today. A lot of different things could have come up, but I did say to Spirit, we need to keep it soft and gentle and basic, please. So I'm really happy. Overall messages, guys: eliminate shit out of your life that doesn't serve you. Step into things that really do. Embrace now is the time. Embrace. Don't hold back when you want to actually jump on things in your life that you know are really going to serve your purpose long term, not just for you, but the greater good of those around you as well. Could be family or extended family or what have you. You know, ask for that clarity and really ground yourself at this time. It's important to remain grounded. Like I said, get some sun, get some sage, whatever you need to do, okay? So blessed be, blessed are the witches. I will be back. Much love, Amethyst.